panda. I got broads in Atlanta, just to lean the family. Credit cards and the scammers, hitting the licks in the van. Legacies, family, wait and see, look like a panda.
Halo, welcome to my channel. Di video kali ini saya ingin bermain game, yaitu bermain Warm Zone. Oke, kita mulai sekarang saja.